بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله بالعالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، قال الله تعالى في الله الرحمن الرحيم: واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءوا إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون. صدق الله العظيم. Welcome again. Another lesson and story from the Holy Quran. We've been discussing and talking about a few of the stories from the Quran that are generally not well known, or even if they're known, they're not as popular as the stories of the Anbiya. So today we're going to talk about a very, very interesting story. And this is a story in Surah Al-Yasin, right? Yasin is a surah that we often recite. And really, this happens fairly, you could even say the second page of the surah. Allah Ta'ala describes us a very, very interesting incident that happened a long time ago. Now, this is about a town, a certain town, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends messengers to that town. Now, there's a bit of discussion within the scholars of tafsir of whether these people were messengers as in Anbiya, or were they just elders within the community or dais who were giving good counsel to people. So one of the opinion, specifically the opinion of Abdullah ibn Abbas is that they were actually the disciples of Isa alayhi salam. These mursalun, these messengers, were the disciples of Isa alayhi salam. At any rate, they are sent to a town. إِذْ جَاءَ الْمُرْسَلُونَ إِذْ أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهِمُ اثْنَيْنِ فَكَذَّبُوهُمَا فَعَزَّزْنَا بِثَالِثٍ فَقَالُوا إِنَّا إِلَيْكُمْ مُرْسَلُونَ. So two messengers come to the people of this town and they give the dawah of Tawheed. The town was presumably involved in idol worship, and the people come with the message of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they reject it, as it so happens very frequently. And when they're rejected, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends another messenger to strengthen them, to aid them. So now there are three of them, and they are talking to the people, giving dawah. And this goes on for some time, and the people are rejecting them. And now the people sort of go to the next level, right? The people basically, they say, قَالُوا إِنَّا تَطَيَّرْنَا بِكُمْ, that we take you as a bad omen, right? And now the next thing we're going to do is, not only do we take you as a bad omen, قَالُوا إِنَّا تَطَيَّرْنَا بِكُمْ لَإِن لَمْ تَنْتَهُوا لَنَرْجُمَنَّكُمْ وَلَيَمَسَّنَّكُمْ. So they tell the messengers that we consider you a bad omen, and if you don't stop, if you don't desist, we're going to stone you. وَلَيَمَسَّنَّكُمْ مِنَّا عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. Or we're going to give you a very, very heavy punishment, meaning we're going to kill you. We're going to kill you if you don't stop. Now, the messengers, obviously, they are not afraid. They're not afraid at all. And they say, قَالُوا طَائِرُكُمْ مَعَكُمْ. Your omen is for yourselves. إِن ذُكِّرْتُمْ. We're trying to advise you for the good, but أَنْتُمْ قَوْمٌ مُسْرِفُونَ. You are just a people that are basically the ones that go beyond bounds. So this conversation is happening, right? And then something very interesting happens. You have this heated discussion going on. The messengers are facing the people, and now it's almost getting to a point where there's going to be violence. And then there is a person who comes running, and the Quran describes it beautifully. وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ. From the corner, or from the end of the land, you have a person that comes in. وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ. And how does he come? He comes yasa, he comes running. وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسَعَ. A man comes from the farthest part of the city and he's running, he's rushing. So the scenario is, there's all of this complete heated discussion going on, and then somebody's coming running, and he's coming running from a very, very farther part of the city. Now, the scholars talk about what land was this and who was this man that came in to help the messengers. And one of the opinions is this is the town of Antakya. Now it's modern day Turkey, but at that time, the whole area of Sham was one. So, and this person, his name was Habib al-Najjar, Habib the carpenter. So he used to be an idol worshiper as well. And he saw the message, he accepted the message of Tawheed, and he became a Muslim. And then he was, really not involved in the dawah per se, but he was minding his own business and he was, worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when he saw this situation of confrontation, where the messengers were not only rejected and belied, but now almost to a point where they're going to be hurt physically, he jumps in the situation. And of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala records it, right? This act of his was so beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this is till eternity preserved in the Holy Quran. Now, he knew at that time that if he's going to get himself involved in such a situation, it's not going to be a good outcome, right? Because these people are threatening to kill the messengers, right? And if he's going to put himself in between, he's going to get hurt as well. The likelihood is he's going to get hurt as well. So he's advising the people. He's saying, Inni amantu, I believe. Inni amantu bi rabbikum, I believe in your Lord. Fasma'un, listen to me, right? So he is trying to convince the people. And then the conversation stops right there, right? In the Quran, if you read, it doesn't give us the details of what happens. The next statement is, قِيلَ ادْخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ. It was said to him to enter paradise. قَالَ يَا لَيْتَ قَوْمِي. And he's saying, now the person is saying, قَالَ يَا لَيْتَ قَوْمِي يَعْلَمُونَ بِمَا غَفَرَ لِي رَبِّي وَجَعَلْنِي مِنَ الْمُكْرَمِينَ. Would that my people knew how my Lord has forgiven me and he has placed me amongst the honored ones. So what has happened over here is this man is no longer alive. He's martyred, right? He's martyred. And he is told to enter paradise. And then when he sees this whole, the fact that he's been forgiven and now paradise is going to be his destiny, he is very remorseful about his qawm, about his people. Would that my people knew how Allah has forgiven me and placed me amongst the honored ones. And then after that, of course, the people are engulfed in a punishment from the heavens and they're destroyed. So that is the crux of the story, where you have the messengers that are sent to a specific town, they're rejected and now they're threatened. And then you have a person come in who is a believer and he steps in trying to support and aid the messengers and protect them. And ultimately, in doing so, he's killed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had recorded this incident in Surah Al-Yasin. And again, this is a very, very interesting scenario that has happened. And a lot of times, what is the lesson that we can derive out of this scenario, right? The major lesson is sometimes aiding the truth, coming in support of the truth is almost as important as you yourself proclaiming the truth, right? Meaning if somebody is saying the truth and somebody is standing for justice and you're not doing that yourself per se, however, when you notice that this person needs help, you are jumping in and you're providing whatever you can in terms of assistance. That amal, that specific deed is very dear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are a testifier to the truth, right? You are a testifier to the truth. You are supporting the truth in whatever way you can. So that is an amal, that is a deed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, because sometimes it can be very difficult. And we can be facing this almost in a day-to-day situation, right? This, of course, is a very, very extreme scenario where there's a lot of stakes involved. You have the Mursaloon, and then you have the person coming in, and then the people are about to kill him, and eventually he dies. But for all practical purposes, we can be involved in such a scenario, and it may not have to be, as aggressive, but yet it can still happen, right? For instance, example, think about that you're having a conversation, and somebody who is a person of power, a person of position in that conversation starts saying something wrong. Say it's a discussion about deen, and he's saying something completely wrong. It's completely, absolutely legitimate, has nothing to do with the deen. Now you recognize that, but the people he has influence and he has power, and the people are listening to him, and you're there and you're like, okay, what he's saying is totally wrong, right? But you don't really yourself don't have the ability to defend that, because you're weak in that sense. But then yet you see another person who shares the same thought process as you do, speaks up and he says, no, I beg to differ. I think what you're saying is not right. Now everybody pounces on him. It's like, oh no, what do you know? You don't even know anything. This person is such and such, and what is your proof, etc., etc. Now you have two options, right? One option is you basically just let it go, and even if, say, you may not be actively involved in criticizing the person who spoke up to the truth, but the other option is you support him. And sometimes it's a difficult deed, right? Sometimes, it could be in any scenario. For example, it's a high school scenario, right? Everybody's ganging up on a little kid, or on one person. Everybody's bullying them, or even just in a regular gathering, right? Everybody's sort of making fun of somebody, or somebody started backbiting in the gathering, and you yourself don't have the ability to stop that, but yet somebody else does. And when he does, he's now being attacked. What position do I adopt? What position do I take? Do I come in and do I say, I'm going to support this person who spoke the truth at whatever cost it is, right? Yeah, I may not be the most popular person again, or these people may not like what I said, but yet I'm going to come in and support the truth, right? Support the truth. And that can sometimes be a trying situation, because it can happen a lot of times. And the least that we should do is, if we are ever involved in a situation like that, where people are talking about something and we don't have the ability to change it, the least that we should do is we should leave that gathering. Or we should turn away from them until they are involved in a different conversation. And Allah SWT says in the Quran, also in Surah An'am, وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ الَّذِينَ يَخُوضُونَ فِي آيَاتِنَا فَأَعْرِضْ عَنْهُمْ حَتَّى يَخُوضُوا فِي حَدِيثٍ غَيْرَهُ. When you see that those who are involved in a conversation concerning an offensive conversation, offensive discourse with regards to our verses, our signs, then turn away from them until they talk something different. So this is the least that we should do. But yet the fact remains that whenever we ever see a situation where something of goodness is being shared, is being displayed, and there's opposition to that, we should try in whatever means that we have, whatever capacity that we have, that we support that good. As the person of Surah Yasin, Habib al-Najjar, did. And of course, it cost him his life. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to always be a testifier to the truth, to always be a person of the truth, to never be scared of the consequences, to never be scared of what the public opinion or what people might think, or what the consequences of this situation be. And a final reminder, alhamdulillah, that we are now almost in the middle of Ramadan, and we are, subhanAllah, how fast it goes, and it will continue to go very fast, and pretty soon we'll be in the last 10 days. So inshallah, this is the time, as a reminder for myself and for everybody else, that we continue to strive to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the best way we can, continue to do our tilawah, our du'as, and inshallah continue to make du'as for the community, for the world, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us all safe, healthy, happy, and may He subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our ibadah, our qiyam, our siyam. Jazakumullah khair wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.